Andrew Galick on the witness stand. This, of course, is our last broadcast of The Best Defense. And as part of that, we have the best guests of our broadcast. And you know who that includes? Of course you do. It's Dr. Buzz. That's right. There he is.
Glad to be here.
J. Buzz von Ornsteiner. And part of it is, Dr. Buzz, that it took me so long to learn to pronounce your name exactly right.
Okay.
People think I've used a teleprompter all this time, but I haven't. I actually know how to say your name. So we're so thrilled to have you here, and I want to pick up right where Lisa Bloom left off. And you know our viewers absolutely love you. And if we had done this program without you, we would have been in big trouble indeed.
Very touched.
But it is also most appropriate for this case because we have Andrew Galick. Here he is on the witness stand, also most appropriate for our show on this day. Is the juvenile mind somehow different from the adult mind?
It is. You know, the brain of an adolescent doesn't completely formulate. It's not completely whole, sometimes till the person's in their mid-20s. And brain chemistry is different for an adolescent. How the brain reacts as an adolescent functions is very different than how an adult functions. One is the brain chemistry does affect how that individual reacts to impulsive thinking, does affect how that person reacts to emotions, does affect how that person handles emotions, and how they react to long-term consequences. You know, if you're looking at the prefrontal lobe and how that works, that's where our impulses are controlled. That's how we react emotionally. With this individual, we have to look at those underlying psychological functions that adolescent is going through. And we look at individuals who do repress their anger or can't handle anger, can't handle their emotions, and adolescents are a prime example of that. If we look at how we responded, how we reacted as adolescents, we would respond and act very differently as we do as adults. We tend to forget that, you know. We tend to forget as adolescents, we acted very different. We were very emotional. We were very prone to act out. We were always testing our limits. We weren't really clear of consequences. We wanted power, we wanted control, but we often felt powerless and out of control emotionally.
Well, and then, of course, there's the prolonged alcohol abuse here.
Yes.
And how quickly we forget, as you point out, how quickly we forget. Well, Dr. Buzz is with us, one of our favorites, one of your favorites. And, Buzz, I have to ask you, as we begin to wind down the best defense, it's been a good long run, and you've been with us through the whole thing. What cases or case sticks with you? What will be in your heart as we move to the new chapter of our lives?
You know, for me, being on your show, and if I go back in time, the one case that really still gets me very emotional is the Phil Spector trial and Lana Clarkson and the claims that the defense made that she had actually committed suicide. I never believed it as a psychologist, and the more we researched her on your show, the more we saw a woman who was seeking power and control in her own life. She did not have any history of suicide. She was seeking to make a better life for herself. She had had a long career as a moderately successful Hollywood actress. She was going on, she was moving on, and with any kind of business, especially in Hollywood, there are ups and downs, and she then got this hostess job at the House of Blues. She meets Phil Spector. He is taken by her because of her beauty.
She was beautiful.
She was incredibly desirable, and he asked her back to his house, the castle, for a drink. He's on medication, and medication mixed with alcohol, and that sets the groundwork, I believe, for him not to have her leave. He wanted her, he desired her, and when she wanted to go, then he produced a gun, as he had done in a history of showing up with guns when women didn't want him.
But it's funny that you mentioned it, Buzz, because we did not consult, did we, Dr. Buzz? We did not consult about what case he would bring up, but you have a connection with Lana Clarkson that goes beyond the psychological, and your analysis of her, you had an experience in Hollywood as well.
Yes.
And we found that out in the course of our coverage, and we have resurrected yet again Dance. Dr. Buzz was an actor before he went to school to study psychology. Now he, of course, is a well-acclaimed forensic psychologist, but we want you to take a look yet again at Dance. It premiered, well, of course, it premiered long before it showed up on Best Defense, but we looked at it through the eyes of the Spector case. We want you to take another look. Here is Buzz von Ornsteiner. Joel. Yes, I'm giving the J away in Dance. Let her roll.
I'm naked.
Oliver! Lowen! That bozo brother of yours.
This is the last time you push me out! Why in hell wasn't I at that meeting?
Knock it off, Amos.
I will not play the fool in my own theater!
And I told you, stay out of the prop room.
Just like father! I'll show you! Oh!
Amos?
God! Oh! Oliver. It hurts.
Great acting.
Every time I see it, I make the face. I've actually watched the entire movie at least twice. You can find Flashdance too, you know. If you want to see the whole thing, Dance, that's Dr. Buzz. And that connection, I bet. Now, I don't want to do analysis. I don't want to become the armchair psychologist over here, but I think you felt a connection with Lana Clarkson beyond just now analyzing her psychology. Now, you spend a lot of time in courtrooms.
Yes.
So I want to get a sense from you as we say goodbye, but not forever, just on the best fence. 30 seconds or less, your sense of the criminal justice system for our viewers as they see you for the last time here on The Best Defense.
Sure. What I've learned, most importantly, I guess, being on your show, is we all want simplistic solutions to the very complex problems of criminal behavior. We want snap judgments, we're ruled by emotion, and we feel that punitive placement by keeping them in jail for the rest of their life is somehow going to solve our problems. And if I could leave anything with the viewers, please examine the underlying psychological reasons of why people commit crimes. What happens to these people's brains emotionally when they're growing up in abused households, when drugs and alcohol affect their brain and cause them to engage in these self-destructive, acting out behaviors. Sometimes it's internal rage directed at themselves. Sometimes it's externalized towards victims. If we look at suicide and homicidal acts, it's somewhat always somehow related, especially when drugs and alcohol and mental illness skew our brains. That's what I'd like to leave with the viewers, Jami. And thank you for having me on your show. You're great.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you so much, Dr. Buzz.